that's like some cool stuff. You know what I mean? I guess that's more guitar paced.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me, buddy. It's been a while since I've seen you. When was the last time we hung out?
I think that was back when I was living in Orange County, and you came to the observatory, right? You were playing with Whitechapel and Entheos. Wasn't that the last?
Is that the last time that we fucking hung out?
Or
oh, bro, that's
I saw you in Canada. I can't remember.
Yes, Canada. Well, you were just on tour, right, with your band Fallujah?
Yeah. We did our 10th anniversary of The Flesh Prevails, which was very interesting. Not my idea. It was the singer's idea. He's like, come on, bro. They would love it. I was like, all right, we'll try it. And then, it was actually a really awesome tour. Really sick.
Yeah.
We were with
that's not surprising.
You guys, you know those guys. And
we do.
Persephone and Dawn.
I don't know them. I don't know Persephone.
They're sick, man. They're like from Andola or something like that. Some like small country, but I don't know. They were very proggy and they were super dope.
Oh, that's sick. All right, cool.
Yeah, it was a great lineup.
What have you been doing since? Are you like just? Are you like back to? Because I know you're working on a new album. I don't know if that's. I'm sure is that public knowledge now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been sharing it on my Twitch. Like, the album is done. It's turned in, and we're just kind of like setting up everything for the release right now. It's going to happen most likely in spring of next year. You never know though.
Right. Yeah. Well, are there a couple things like when I think about writing for a new album, because I'm doing the same thing. We're currently writing. We're getting pretty close to being done writing our new album.
Nice.
And when I think about writing for a new album, I like to put in new techniques. I like to think about, okay, what am I working on? What's something that's going to come out as a certain technique or a certain thing that I'm doing on the new album that's like a little bit different. And one of the things I've been doing is this kind of thing. Doing like alternate pick.
Oh wow, great.
So like I've been trying to make it into. It sounds kind of fucking annoying, honestly.
Like one of the.
Yeah, but gotta get really fast triplets because I'm just not as good as, let's say, Adam D'Amico from Lorna Shore, who does those crazy, but get like insane down picked alternate pick shit. So I had to kind of find a way around it.
Like is there anything speed tremolo picking basically?
Well, it's maybe not trem, but yeah, speed. Like he does a lot of those like. Sort of like fast run things, low kind of riffy kind of things that are all over the place. Lots of alternate pick, and then a lot of down picked in between as well. Is there stuff that you're working on that you came up with for the new album that you're like, oh shit, this is the new thing that I'm excited about? You got anything like that?
I guess for me, I've like put all sorts of like crazy techniques in Fallujah's music. Like I'm sure you've heard like that. I call them like harp harmonics or whatever, or tap harmonics. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be like, that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
That's so cool sounding. Hey, this whole video is brought to you by sheethappenspublishing.com. Right now, you can go to sheethappenspublishing.com and use my code word DEAN for 15% off at checkout and grab the entire guitar transcription for Fallujah's album Empyrean. Along with that, you can find a ton of other bands. Do yourself a favor, go check it out. Sheethappenspublishing.com. Use my code word DEAN for 15% off at checkout. Back to the video.
Vibe, and it's unique to us. But I've done that on a lot of albums, but I guess I've been trying to, like, separately from Fallujah, like I have always been like someone who like improvises over like synth wave and like funk music and kind of jazz music, and I always kept it separate and I never really combined it. You know what I mean? Like for Fallujah, when it comes to the technique, I do like the whammy bar stuff and sweep picking and lots of tapping and stuff like that. But I guess on this one, I'm and from the influence of the other bandmates, they're just like pushing me to do it. I've been throwing a lot more of my fusion licks into the Fallujah stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff is kind of like hybrid picking. I could just give you random improvised like some random examples or whatever, but it's like kind of this style where I'm like using my thumb and my first finger and kind of doing a hybrid picking and like jumping up octaves and fourths and stuff like that. Like how about like I've been trying to get it with like kind of like. I should show you my other camera so you can see what I'm doing exactly. But.
Whoa, that was really cool.
I don't know who these all these guys are coming out now. They're doing like the kind of like arpeggios and metal stuff, but they're doing it with just their fingers, and it's like
Yeah.
super wild. But yeah, let's see if I can try that again. That's like some cool stuff, you know what I mean? I guess that's more guitar paced, but you know, on the subject of like trying things on an album or whatever, like I've definitely been into more tempo changes because like my band's never really been into tempo changes, and then the other thing is just changing the meter all the time. You know, when you're going from like maybe you're doing triplets or whatever, and then you switch to like 16th notes or whatever. Like I don't know, I don't know, some random example, but like. Or about let me see what would be a good. I wish I could just play you the riff off the album so you could kind of hear it. You know what I mean?
You could play it. We could cut it out.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Yeah, no, whatever you like. Yeah, we just like.
I don't know how I would give an example so you could show it out of your thing, but like.
Yeah. Well, can we go back to some of the stuff you just played? Because I have a couple questions about the insane shit that you just played, and then we just breezed on by it.
Okay, yeah.
It's like insane shit, and you're like, anyway, I'm also trying this. It's like, no, wait, let's go back. Wait. I need to know. What's the benefit of doing pickless playing? Because I noticed that you're treating your thumb like the bass, and you're treating like your index and your middle fingers like the melody or the treble section. So is that different from using hybrid picking? Because like I have a riff I've been trying to work on lately. That kind of thing. That's kind of similar to what you're kind of doing. Like, you know, you have a bass, but I'm doing alternate picking with hybrid picking. Right. But you're really like treating the, you know, maybe my index finger is just no good because I just never do pickless playing. But what is the goal? Like, what is it? Just something you just started doing and now you just can't stop, or what is it?
I feel like when you're improvising, it works super well rhythmically. I feel like I'm like the lower notes are kind of like my bass drum, and then the higher pops are like my snare drum. So I'm kind of like doing like a drum solo between like kick and snare, like do da do da do da da do da do da. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like doing that. Like, let's see. If I put on, I wish I could. Do you think I could put on a track? Like, is there like some DMCA free track?
Oh, hey, yeah. Do whatever. If it gets flagged, then I'll just cut it out for the public one, and I'll just only put it on the Patreon one.
All right. Like, let's see.
Yeah, you
like,
do whatever.
I'm pretty sure McRocklin's stuff is. He made it so everybody could use it for free or something.
That's nice of him.
Yeah. See if I can find it.
So you're thinking heavily about drums as you're playing guitar.
Not so much drums, but I just like the accents to fit on like a cool spot. You know what I mean? And I feel like when you do that, you don't really have to think too hard about it. Whereas picking, it's kind of like, you know, you have to kind of organize it differently. Let's see. Oh, I think it's called Dream Stream or something like that. Looking up something wrong. Oh,
damn. Do you ever like double notes with your index finger when you're doing that too? So from like,
so what do you mean by that?
So like if you're having like a high note, so do you just hit like, so I'll give you an example of something, maybe you can learn it real quick. Just like the first phrase of this section. Yeah, so double like dun 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 dun, double the high note. It's like, yeah. How would you play that?
I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably have to figure out a way to go middle first thumb, and then I would do my third finger, then middle again. It'd be like,
oh.
You know what I mean? It's definitely not something I would usually do. That's like uncomfortable for me. And this style is 100% just for me. Like I kind of tried to sit down and tab out a few licks and practice those and like add them, but they all kind of just came naturally from like improvising over stuff. So like, let's see if this has a good tempo.
Right.
Let's see.
Oh, shit.
You could hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Need like a fast one. Hold up. Yeah, like this one. And then I start rapping, dude. Yeah, so like. And I could even take two like notes like this, and then I, just try to like play with the accent a little bit and trying to create something interesting, like. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
wow,
kinda,
sweet.
like for me, it's all like. It just works really well with playing over music. Like I could just kind of, I don't like double up snares. Like for me, when you're saying like double up a high note, that would like confuse me and kind of throw off the beat a little bit for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want that. I think that what you're doing is like super cool. I was just like, when you're doing that kind of stuff, are you like, because I mean, the chord progression you're playing over top of is like a bum bum dum, like it's not like a super complex. There's not too many non-diatonic chords or anything. Are you thinking about modes? Are you thinking about what scale you're in? Thinking about chords? Are you just kind of like earing it out and being like, yo, I'm pretty good at playing in what sounds like natural minor, maybe some like pentatonic kind of stuff as well. Like, are you cerebral about it, or are you just kind of like,
No, I'm definitely thinking about the notes I'm playing, and the way I do it is I actually have like kind of like a cheat sheet for myself, and I basically will break the modes down into groups essentially, and so we don't have to talk about all the modes. Let's just talk about the minor modes. You know what I mean, right? You have like Aeolian, you have Phrygian, and you have Dorian. Let's just talk about like those three modes.
Yeah, sure.
If you break those down into 4-note chords, all three of those modes make a minor 7 chord, right? That's 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. And then if you do the pentatonic scale is 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. So the pentatonic scale and the minor 7 scale are essentially the same thing, except for with the addition of the fourth in the pentatonic scale. So what I like to do is I think of one interval from each mode that makes it unique. You know what I mean? Right. So I kind of think of Aeolian, the minor scale, as kind of like my base scale, right? And when you break that down to the pentatonic, it's only those 5 notes. And if you wanted to make it sound like Phrygian, all you got to do is add in that one thing that's unique about Phrygian, which is the flat 2. You know what I mean? So if I want to change my minor pentatonic to sound Phrygian, I'll add in the flat 2. If I wanted to make it sound Dorian, I'll add in the major 6. And then there's other things you could do. You could take the minor pentatonic and you could make all the 3s major thirds, and then you got kind of a, it's either Phrygian dominant and or Mixolydian. And then you have, it's just really easy to control the way you sound. So like if I'm in the key of just B minor, and I'm playing, and then all of a sudden I hear, because you got to use your ear for this, because I'll be improvising over something I don't really know. And all of a sudden I hear, oh, okay, that sounds like Dorian. So I know now to make it B with adding in that major 6. So instead of just going, I'll start throwing in those major 6s. Or for instance, like I was saying, if I want to change it to Mixolydian, I'll make sure I take that same shape, but now I'm going to modify all the 3s and make a major third. So instead of going, I'll go. So what I do, and I've done it with my students before, is I'll make them memorize the pentatonic, and then I'll be like, all right, now take time to play the pentatonic, adding in the major 2, because the pentatonic doesn't have 2s or 6s, right? It's kind of like, it leaves it kind of ambiguous. So it's like practice finding all the 2s in your shape, and then once you do that, you become really familiar with the 2s. So if I ever want that 2, I want to whip that out, I can really easily find it. You know, and then I'll tell them to do the same thing, but now just put in the flat 5. So they get really familiar with that blues note. And then again, flat 2s. So like once I, you know, like I just assign like one interval to kind of represent each mode, and I can like quickly create that sound. You know what I mean? I could be like, all right, if I hear it switch to Mixolydian, which happens all the time, make sure you raise that third. Or if it switches to, let's see, melodic minor, then you have to raise the 6 and the 7. So I'll be like improvising. And I'll hear it change. You know, just depending on what I hear. And so I did take the time to practice through my pentatonic modes and one at a time add in intervals and get comfortable with like, okay, what does this shape look like when I add the major third, the flat 2, the flat 5, the 6, the flat 6, because all that kind of will allude to a mode. You know what I mean? And then that's just kind of that's just doing modes. And then I'll also, you know, I kind of skipped a step, like jumping in modes. But even when I'm like, let's say it's just diatonic or whatever, and it's just a B minor diatonic kind of thing, or, you know, B Aeolian, I will isolate chords from that scale. Like I'll try to play just the 4-note chords of B minor,